Hey, everybody, welcome to another status report where we review the past. We're not doing that this time, though. Usually review the past, but we also look to the future. We're definitely doing that this time because if we didn't do either, then there'd be no point in this video. But quickly, before we get into the nitty-gritty and detailing the roadmap for 2025, I want to quickly say thank you for the support throughout the year. It means a lot. I do this to entertain, and if you are entertained, thank you for watching. You leave a thumbs up, that means the world. If you leave a thumbs down, you dislike the video, that still means the world because it means you're interacting. You leave a comment, all of it means a lot to me. I know I can get a little tilted and say some things that some people might not like about certain games or, you know, elephant in the room, certain Canadian CEOs that have a certain first name of Eves and a certain last name of Gilmay that work for a certain company that starts with Ubi and ends with Soft. I could say some controversial things that some people don't like, but hey, at the end of the day, it's all an opinion. It's just, we all have opinions, and I say mine to the internet, and not in my own head. So, thank you for the support. Let's get on to the important stuff, though. Like that this will be the last status report I do. Until there's a major disruption in the schedule, obviously. Murphy's Law, etc., etc., etc. I've been planning to stop these status reports, I think, since, like, mid-2024, but never really found, like, a stopping point that made sense. But this one makes complete and total sense because we're setting up 2025, and what that's gonna look like. The reason I'm stopping is just because, well, it's another video I have to make. I have to take time away from recording an episode or just a video in general for either channel. The link is in the basement for the other channel. Go check it out. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that noise was. Straight up, I don't know what that noise was. But I have to sit down and, like, even if it's like a 10-minute video, I record for 10 minutes, I flub some lines, or I don't say things how I want to say them, so I gotta do retakes and all this stuff. It's not like a normal Let's Play video, which it's like done live. I have to record gameplay, which is separate, so it's just taking time away from another video that could be made, so that's why it's the last one. Plus, something spontaneity, how do you say that word? Spontaneity? That's it. That's that word I'm looking for. If something pops up, boom, there it is, right? I don't know, I'm not gonna tell you about it. You kind of can figure out what it is, but, yeah. Last status report. Until something comes up and I'm like, oh, crap. Change plans. Let's start with 2025 though. Let's get some specific months out of the way, shall we? Most notably January. I brought up in the finale, the final video of the 2024 Spooktacular, that basically, if you didn't catch the drift, that's an entire arc in its own for the channel, not just myself. It's a channel arc. That character that I made up may or may not be a demon. I really haven't decided yet. He's got hooves. That's about it. But the door being opened is symbolic that now I'm just gonna play horror games when I feel like it. I'm not just gonna be like, oh, I gotta save this game for October. I gotta wait until January. Arbitrary months with arbitrary things. Obviously, Spooktacular's not going anywhere, but January is kind of redundant now. This one is just going to be catching up on things that I should have played, and there'll be more horror games played throughout the months that aren't just, like, held out for specific months, like I said. First one with a goddamn bullet is The Chant. I have to finish that game. I think we're close to finishing it, but I just kind of lost interest in it. Like, it's not a bad game, it's just not the greatest, right? The combat is not needed, quite frankly. The combat's not needed in it. And the characters are okay. I don't know, it's just something about it. Mostly the combat kind of, like, made my interest get taken away from it. But I gotta finish that. I want to get that checked off. That way we can be like, alright, we finished The Chant. It's an alright game. And then after that, we can move on to some legitimate Lovecraftian horrors. The Chant is Lovecraftian, kinda, but I want to play The Sinking City finally. It's a game that I've had my eyes on since it was released, I think. All the trailers were like, oh, okay. Fucking Cthulhu. Alright, hell yeah, let's do this. it just didn't fit into the Oktoberfest 2024. It was planned, I planned to do that, but it just didn't fit. Like, physically, it didn't fit. It's a 20-hour game. That's a long game for 1 month, so now we're gonna start spreading out the horror love throughout the year. 20 hours might not seem so crazy. One video here, one video there. We'll get it done eventually, but I have no idea why it's 20 hours. That's a very long game. Another game that was originally planned for the Spooktacular that just didn't fit in there is Bendy and the Dark Revival. It's a game, much like The Sinking City, is a game that I've been meaning to get to for a while now, and it's just like, that game took too long to come out. I remember they were like, yeah, we're doing a sequel to The Ink Machine. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I love Bendy and the Ink Machine. That game is great. That's super cool. All right, a sequel? Hell yeah. And then they're like, it's gonna be episodic, like The Ink Machine. Like, all right, cool. That's fine. I don't have a problem with episodic games where, like, Chapter 1 drops and then 2 months later, Chapter 2 drops. Like, that's fine. That's cool. I like, just hype it up properly, right? We see Poppy Playtime doing that. They're hyping up the next chapter very, very well, and they do that constantly. So, that's cool. And then they were like, we're not going to be doing that. We're actually just going to make it one big game and not do the episodic thing because reasons? I don't remember the reasons, but that caused it to be delayed, and my interest just kind of went out the window, and then they're making a movie, and then they're making 15 more games, and it's like, oh, crap. All right. So, Bendy and the Dark Revival is kind of in the same boat as The Sinking City. Maybe not physically, because Cthulhu. But Sinking City 2 is happening sometime in 2025, and Bendy and the whatever the hell non-mobile game they're making. They made a ton of mobile games. Don't know why. But they're making another full-fledged game, I think. So whenever those two games come out, finishing Sinking City and Bendy and the Dark Revival will make me prepared for those other games when they come out. Oh, and then the elephant in the room that I need to get through before the second, I guess, season, we'll call it. The Dark Pictures Anthology, The Devil in Me. The game, I keep forgetting its name because The Devil in I is a Slipknot song, a very good Slipknot song, and it just reminds me of that. And from what I've seen of The Devil in Me, it seems like Slipknot wins here, so I'm not too psyched up to play The Devil in Me, but we'll play it. We'll try to have some fun. Go on over to the second channel, like I mentioned before. There's a playthrough of Frank Stone, the casting of Frank Stone. It's made by Supermassive, the Dark Pictures Anthology, and more importantly, the Until Dawn people. So go check that. That game was fun and good and great. So go check that out, and then we'll get to The Devil in Me. Let's move over to the next gimmick month, that being FNAF February. It's back for another year. Yes, it is. This time with a lot of stuff to do. Most times, most FNAF February, I'm like, all right, we got like one game to play, and I'll stretch that out for an entire month, or we'll do a anniversary look back, like the first time I played the games. We'll do a look back since then. And originally, I was gonna do a achievement-themed FNAF February, where I get every achievement in the FNAF games, and that would drive me goddamn insane, because that means I would actually have to face Ennard successfully, and that's still a hidden episode that hasn't released for FNAF Sister Location. I don't even know where that footage is. I recorded my attempts of that, trying to do that secret night in FNAF Sister Location. Never could beat it. Never could beat Ennard. So that would be hell to do. Thankfully, Scott Cawthon and Steel Wool not only dropped, I believe the Ruin DLC dropped 2024, I think, maybe. Security. Oh god. How do you spell security? Security breach, Ruin. There we go. Yeah, it was released 20, no, that's not it. Well, that's the original Five Nights at Freddy's. Why are you doing this to me? Why would you do this to me? December? Was it December? That's not true. That's improbable, if anything. Security Breach Ruin. I'm on the wiki. No, release date was 2023. Yeah, it was 2023, but it released for Xbox 2024. Yeah, okay. And then Switch was 2020 December. So, technically this year, technically last year, phooey. We're gonna get to it this year, 2025, so that's fine. But then they were also like, hey, we're dropping Help Wanted 2, a sequel to Help Wanted. Like, alright, that's cool. Do y'all want to port the Halloween DLC for Help Wanted 1 to Xbox? Because it's not. It's not. They said they were going to do it, and that was like 4 years ago. Still nothing. We don't have the Freddy DLC, so we can't get actually 100% Help Wanted. So, that's fun. But they were like, we're doing Help Wanted 2. I was like, alright, whenever that gets to Xbox, we'll do it. Oh, by the way, it's released already on Xbox. Oh, that was fast. And then they dropped Into the Pit, not Steel Wool, but Scott and whoever made that game. Into the Pit. And I was like, okay, same thing. Like, when it releases on console, we'll get to it. Oh, it's already on console, so that's fun. So that's what FNAF already is. It's gonna be doing the Ruin DLC, which I'm not looking forward to because I have gripes about the franchise, and we'll get to it when that episode drops. And then we'll do Into the Pit, and then Help Wanted 2, and then, yeah. FNAF February 2026 will be a crossover event between this channel and Kill by Daylight because Freddy, or hopefully Springtrap, Matthew Cote, is coming to Dead by Daylight. So there's a crossover event there somewhere. That's a year, though. I got time. Now on to reoccurring series is, plural. Once they start, they ain't no stopping them, at least not for a long time. Because hunting achievements in Borderlands will continue. We're almost done with 1. We just got the last half of the last DLC to do, complete the side quests, and then kill the raid boss, and that's it. Borderlands 1 will be 100% completed. We can move on to 2, and then pre-sequel, and then 3. And somewhere in there is going to be Borderlands 4 releasing in 2025. We don't have a release date yet, but I'm willing to bet 2K is waiting for Rockstar to say whether or not GTA 6 is delayed. I think it's going to be delayed till 2026 because there was like internal reports of like, oh, it's behind schedule or something like that. But 2K publishes Borderlands now and GTA. They're not going to just drop Borderlands within the same year as GTA 6 because once GTA 6 drops, every game dies. No one will be playing anything other than GTA 6. But whenever Borderlands 4 drops, that'll be taking the place of whatever hunting achievements in Borderlands we're doing at that time. 2, 3, pre-sequel, does not matter. Borderlands 4 drops, that is day 1 Let's Play on the channel. We'll do a fresh playthrough of that, blind playthrough, discover the world, discover the storyline, be mad about certain things, probably. Don't fuck us over, Randy. Raid bosses at drop and in DLCs and the such. I could make an entire wishlist video. It is what it is. But once that drops, that's taking precedent over pretty much anything that's going on at that time. And then we will pick up later on, obviously. The other reoccurring thing that we haven't revealed yet is what I said when, I think it was the status report before Senua 2 came out. I said once I beat Senua, I want to do more story-driven and emotional games. Because I do genuinely like them, getting sucked into the story, getting attached to these characters. My favorite game still of the past decade is Death Stranding. I know people hate it because it's a walking simulator. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Yeah, okay, that matters to the gameplay, but like you get to know these characters, the story is well written. I'm waiting for Kojima to be like, hey, here's OD, and also Death Stranding 2 is going to be on Xbox. If you didn't know, Xbox got the director's cut of Death Stranding. Don't be shocked if I play that for the channel sometime this year. I'm waiting for Kojima to, like, tell his buddy Jeff Keighley, like, hey, OD is releasing here, and also Death Stranding 2 is going to be on Xbox as well, because fuck Sony, or whatever excuse he wants to say. So I want to do more of those types of games where you get connected to the character, you can get emotional, you can let some tears out. I just finished Neva, which, oh my fucking god, I've never been hit in the heart so hard and so often as I have with that game. And that's why, like, that's a key thing when people are like, video games aren't art. I'm like, motherfucker, look at that game. Look at Neva. Look at the colors. Look at the art style. Look at the fucking story. Tell me it's not art. I'll fist fight you. I will throw hands. These hands are rated E for everyone, bitch, and you can get it. If you don't think video games are art. Call of Duty, no. Don't talk about fucking shooters. Generic fucking mill sims. Don't talk about that shit. You wanna look at a shooter that has heart? Look at Gears of War, look at Halo. That's art. Those are stories that are compelling. Don't look at Infinite. Okay? Don't do that. But I want to get to more of those games, right? I want to really get to A Plague Tale, which I saw a lot of glowing reviews saying like, yo, it's Xbox's answer to The Last of Us. I love The Last of Us Part 1. I'm excited to get to that, so I want to get to that. I want to get to Grease. I think that's how you pronounce it, G-R-I-S. It's made by the same people that made Neva, so I'm like really amped to get into that. Like games like that, right? I have a bunch of games that like were just on sale. I was like, oh yeah, fuck, yeah, let's play this. Right? There's a game that came out, I gotta find the name of it. It came out in 2024. I'm like, oh my god, that's an interesting game. And it was actually a toss-up between what I was gonna play Neva or that game. It was a toss-up. I don't know how to check my fucking wish list on Xbox.com, so give me a moment. Closer the Distance. It took me forever to find my goddamn wishlist online, by the way, but I jumped through hoops, so here we are. Closer the Distance. This game piques my interest immediately by just, like, reading the description. It's a deeply moving slice-of-life sim that tells a story about the connections between family and friends in the face of tragedy. Following a fatal car accident, players take on the role of Angela, a young girl from the town of Yesterby who finds herself watching over loved ones as they navigate the grieving process. Using her ethereal ability to influence the townspeople she once knew, Angela's choices ultimately determine the fate of Yesterday. That sounds like a heart-wrenching adventure and so interesting. So that's on the list as well. Games like that is what I want to play in 2025, along with like everything else, right? You hear reoccurring things. Like the weekend stuff is still staying the same. Marvel Rivals, Fortnite, any other fucking FPS game or fun multiplayer game comes out, yeah, we'll continue that stuff. So it's reoccurring stuff, right? That stuff, emotional stuff, hunting achievements in Borderlands, the shooty bangs, of course. Now let's talk about something that 2025 is going to be for a lot of us. It's going to be an uncertain and scary time for a lot of us again, because of that, it is going to be a trying time for a lot of people. I'm going to be bringing back a series that I really liked, but ended because, well, it just didn't need to happen anymore. Weekend Chill Sesh. Basically, for those who don't know, I started it back in the pandemic for an outlet for people just to watch an hour on the weekends or so, and just chill out, and just get absorbed in, like, it was just chill games, right? I played, most notably, Stardew Valley on there. It was just like, hey, join me for this relaxing game, right? An hour away from fucking the chaos of life, and like get away from that shit, right? But I'm gonna bring it back. Instead of the random chill games that I was doing, I'm gonna focus on simulation games though this time. Sim games have quickly become one of my favorite genres in gaming. I don't know why. I just don't know why. I was trying to complete some Xbox rewards thing one day. The ones like, oh, earn achievements in a Game Pass game and you get some store credits, right? That type of stuff. I saw a lawnmower sim was on Game Pass, so I figured it was an easy enough challenge to complete, get some easy achievements, and get some easy store credits. Bing bang bazinga. Boom, done. I thought it was going to be a boring 10 minutes, and it was just going to be a miserable time. Turned out to be like 2+ hours of actual legitimate fun and entertainment. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I think it might be due to the quote-unquote dad game effect. I'll leave a link to Yahtzee Crenshaw's video about that subject in the description. He's the guy that used to work at The Escapist. I respect his opinion. I respect what he does, because I've been following him for like over a decade. I'm glad he found new footing in making videos and stuff like that. But he made a video about the dad game effect, and I'll leave that link in the description or a pinned comment if you want to know what that is. I watched that video when it came out just out of curiosity, and by the end of it, a lot of things clicked into place. So, yeah. We're going to do simulation games throughout 2025 and probably even beyond, because I think Weekend Chill Sesh is a good way to introduce new games and new content, and that's what I like. On a slightly related note, the return of Weekend Chill Sesh and the sim game part of it gives me an excuse to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and that is inject the channel with some Dino DNA. If you know, you know, and you probably know by what I just said, it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be something to behold. Maybe not for some park goers. Maybe. That'll start up in a few days, though. January 4th, the first weekend, the first official weekend of 2025, so be on the lookout for that. But that's not the only thing going on the weekends in 2025. I'm making some big changes to the schedule. The Hunting Achievements in Borderlands series is going from the side stage to the main stage, as it were, I guess as an allegory, I could say. Those videos, along with other prominent and reoccurring series we'll get to in a moment, are going to be weekday videos. Weekdays are going to be for the heavy lifting, for Let's Plays that are important and need to be done. They need the time. Weekends are for chilling out, playing multiplayer games, and exploring Tamriel. Again! I am overly excited, and I'm talking about, like, Tony Khan talking about Time Cop excited to tell you that the Skyrim series is coming back. But not in the way you think. It's gonna be a reboot. It's gonna follow the same character from the Let's Play that we were doing 3 years ago, but it's gonna be in a different style. Think less Let's Play and more Skyrim for Pimp style roleplay / immersion. I'm gonna be keeping it kayfabe, brother. If you know, you know. It's gonna be something different, something very different from how I normally do videos, but it should be a very fun ride and probably very meta. That will start some weekend in January. I do not have a specific spot picked, but it's probably gonna involve a lot of editing, maybe, kinda, and some planning ahead of time. So sometime in January, one of the weekends in January, there will be just Skyrim Episode 1. And that will go until we actually get Elder Scrolls 6, which might happen in our lifetime if we're lucky, fingers crossed, but I don't see it happening in 2025, so at least for a little bit, Skyrim will be back. Now let's talk about the major driving force for this channel in 2025. It's a big one. I'm super excited, and you might see why. 3 years ago, though, I first stepped onto the mean streets of Kamurocho, and I think my return is long overdue. Yes, GTA 6, Elden Ring 2, and Borderlands 4 come out this year, maybe on that first one. And maybe, just maybe, Ubisoft finds its brain and walks back some of its brain-dead capitalist decisions, and sure, Marvel Rivals is amazing, and I'll keep playing Fortnite, but damn it, 2025 is the year of Yakuza on this channel. And Like a Dragon, depending on what game we get to. My goal this year is a big one, it's lofty, and it is to play and beat, that's the important part, every Yakuza / Like a Dragon game before the year is over. Before 2026, I want to play every Yakuza game that has been released. And if there's time, we'll go to the Judgment series. There's only 2 of those games, right? How hard could that be, right? 365 days to beat almost a dozen games, some of which are 60-hour RPGs. Yeah, I like my odds. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be good to get to know and re-know Kiryu-chan and Majima-san. It's gonna be a blast. I can't wait. That's gonna be the driving force of this channel through 2025. It's gonna be good. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in my plums. But that is the year 2025 planned out right now. We're going back to Tamriel. We're going back to Kamurocho. We're gonna be sticking in the Badlands of Pandora. We're gonna be chilling on the weekends. It's gonna be fun playing spooky stuff all throughout the year, not just in January and FNAFarary. It's gonna be good. So I hope you join me for this ride. And I want to thank you all for watching. Have a happy new year. And I will see you in 2025. Goodbye.